The pounding on my front door shook the frame. 3 sharp knocks, each louder than the last. I opened it to find a woman in a navy power suit, sunglasses gleaming, flanked by 2 HOA board members with clipboards. "Mr. Turner," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, "you violated multiple community codes. Pack your things. You're being evicted." I blinked. "Evicted? From my house?" She waved a paper in my face, an HOA order stamped and signed. Rules are rules. Behind her, half the cul-de-sac watched like it was free. Entertainment. I could have laughed if I weren't so angry, because the woman barking, "Orders, Karen Dalton," didn't realize the property she lived in too. Streets over belonged to me, and by the time she found out, her eviction notice would have my signature on it. Before all this, my life in Maple Ridge was quiet. I'd bought 3 houses years back, kept one for myself, rented the others out. I fixed fences for neighbors, hosted barbecues, never broke a single rule. I wasn't flashy. I just liked peace. Then the new HOA board took over, suits, slogans, and clipboards. They promised order and improvement. What they delivered was control. Still, I stayed polite. I even waived late fees for one tenant when she lost her job. That tenant? Karen Dalton. If only I'd known the monster I was housing rent-free for a month. Karen loved power like most people love oxygen. Within weeks of joining the HOA, she crowned herself president. She marched through the neighborhood snapping photos of grass height and mailbox paint. At meetings, she'd glare down anyone who questioned her, repeating, "It's for community standards." When I suggested we tone down the fines, she sneered, "Some people don't belong in a neighborhood like this." She meant me. My old-style porch, my pickup in the driveway. It didn't fit her new vision. That's when I realized Karen wasn't enforcing rules. She was enforcing herself. The letters started next, warnings about improper fencing, unsightly work materials, and non-approved mailbox colors. Then came fines. $500 for a flower bed. I appealed every one, citing the HOA charter she clearly hadn't read. Each appeal overturned her ruling. That only fueled her anger. One morning, I woke to find a bright orange eviction notice taped to my door. The document claimed I was occupying without ownership. I laughed, until I realized she'd filed it with the county. She had forged paperwork, transferring my own address into the HOA's communal domain. I'd seen arrogance before, but this was fraud, so I did what any good landlord would do. I pulled every lease agreement from my file cabinet, and one name stood out like a confession. Karen Dalton, 212 Oakview Lane. For 2 weeks I played dumb. Let her think she'd won. Then I called a special HOA meeting, under my rights as a homeowner. Every board member showed up, Karen leading the charge with her eviction papers in hand. She didn't know the county clerk had already called me. Her transfer request was rejected and flagged for investigation. When the meeting began, I handed out copies of her lease. "Funny thing," I said. "This address, 212 Oakview, shows the owner as me. So technically, Karen, when you threatened to evict me," I paused, letting the silence stretch, "you threatened your landlord." Her face drained of color. I slid another envelope across the table, her official eviction notice for non-payment of HOA dues I'd covered for months. The room erupted. Cameras rolled. By the end of the week, the county attorney pressed forgery charges. Karen's presidency collapsed overnight, and that dream of controlling everyone else? She couldn't even control her own lease. The HOA board voted me interim president until the investigation closed. My first act? Erase every fine she'd slapped on neighbors. Karen moved out quietly before dawn. Her yard sign still reading, "Community Pride starts here." I kept her old house rented, fresh coat of paint, new tenants, peace restored. Sometimes I pass by at sunset and smile. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it knocks once, hands you paperwork, and walks away. Never pick a fight with someone whose name is on your lease. Karen thought she owned the neighborhood. Turns out she was living on borrowed ground, mine. Revenge didn't need shouting or violence. Just one signature, the same kind she once waved in my face.